What's going on, everybody? This your boy King Gabe here with another history video. Just previous not too long ago, we did the history of Brian Robinson, and of course, had the other. We covered some of the other human characters for Yumeko, like Hiko, Naomi. Well, actually, no, we ain't got to Naomi yet. I'm tripping. But we did cover Hiko, also Samuel, then recently Brian, and now we are at Angela and Monee, say Angela Ann Pierre, as well as Monee Chanel Pierre. Two sisters, yes, that's right. We're going to be doing two people in this video, and as we get into the video and then talk about the characters, you will definitely see why these two are sharing a video together. But before we go into that, before we get, because there's quite a bit of history here to cover, even outside of the books. But before we get into that, um, quick shout out to EJ the Supreme, our Patreon. Yes, EJ the Supreme, our Patreon, as well as also giving a final shout out to our sponsor from December. Giving one final shout out to him for sponsoring us in the month of December, Keon Smith. So, yep. So yeah, Patreon, EJ the Supreme, and December's sponsor, Keon Smith. Who knows? He might possibly decide to do it again. You never know. All depends on his choice. Like I say, as well as your choice of whether you want to support us on Patreon like EJ, or be a sponsor like Keon was, or you might want to do both. Either way, the support is definitely appreciated, even if it is a small support. Even if it's just like just like all I can do is like $1 on that. It is much appreciated there. Definitely. So, like I say, definitely do that, as well as also like, share, and subscribe. Leave some comments about the video you're about to hear, as well as also get some of our available comic books. So, with all that said, we got a lot to talk about here, so let's dive right into it. If you have, and also if you have to, might want to hit the pause button and go get you some. If you don't have it yet right now, or maybe you're not expecting it, go get you some popcorn, maybe some, or whatever your favorite snack might be, or hey, what the heck, go get a meal. go get a, go get a meal. It's up to you. Snack, meal, whatever make you comfortable when you're watching the video, and prepare yourself, because you're gonna be sitting here a while listening to me talk with my big mouth. so yeah, get comfortable. so, Anywho, yeah, the fact that you clicked on me, yeah, get used to it. Yeah, but yeah, no, seriously, get something to eat, and don't forget something to drink too, cause you definitely, yeah, because you ever ate something and didn't have something to drink, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, oh, I'm thirsty. It'd be like the Trix rabbit when he finally got the Trix cereal, but he didn't have no milk. Got milk. So yeah, you don't want to be like that. So yeah, definitely get something to eat, something to drink, and sit down, and make sure you're really comfy and cozy to hear everything said in this video. Okay? Okay? so anywho, so is that right? Okay, so we're talking about Angela Ann Pierre, as well as Monee Chanel Pierre. The like the previous characters that I've talked history about. Brownie and his friends, and then got now into the human characters like Samuel, Hiko, as well as Brian. Yes, the names that I've called these two girls by is how they're going to appear in Yumeko. They have appeared in some previous medium, not medium, previous creations of mine like this. Now, interesting thing. Now, as we discussed, it's definitely going to be an interesting history behind them. So most of which is definitely centered around Angela more so. This is because um, who Angela is based off of the this version of her, as well as some previous versions, was actually based off of an old friend of mine named Angela. When she got wind of this character and like talking to her about it and everything, um, eventually she came up with the idea of adding another character to be Angela's best friend, and that's how Monee came to be. Um, however, there is also a bit of history around Angela as well. But we're gonna, which you may have possibly seen a previous video and might have an idea of what I'm about to mention on that. But like I say, but yeah, it will. But I will say it when I get to that point. So let's start with the beginning. With Angela, of course. Um, Angela actually started way back in the 2004 Star Striker and Target series. Think her last when she first started out, her last name I think was Adams there. So it's Angela Adams, and um, there was a let's see, I yeah I think even in that series she was based off of Angela. Yeah, she off of Angela. Um, even though and even and like I say 2004, you know, I mentioned before how Star Striker, him and Target were based off of Static and Gear, aka Virgil and Richie. Um, of course, I was in high school at the time when I came up with this. So yeah, that's another reason why Angela kind of was based on Angela. Because that's when I knew her. Mostly in my junior and senior year. May have met. I'm not sure if I met up with her. I don't. I know I had. I know we didn't really cross paths in freshman year. Um, might have seen her a few times in sophomore year. I'm not completely sure. It's possible, but sort of like how, like when I met Casey for the first time in the eighth grade, but we didn't really talk until summer school, leading up into the ninth grade. There, we didn't. So yeah, so so junior year was actually when when I interacted with Angela, began to interact with her leading into senior year. Um, we actually had I think I want to say we actually was through the journalism class, of course, because we were taking journalism together. As I mentioned in probably previous videos, I have been in journalism ever since freshman year. Junior year is when I actually was in a journalism class with Angela under a new teacher that was different from my sophomore and freshman year. Matter of fact, freshman year it was just a club, and then it turned into a class in sophomore year. I think possibly a club and a class, but anyway. So um, so yeah, we were on the journalism team, and that was also briefly mentioned in my King Gay versus Garfield video when I showed that old VHS where I was about to read the paper, but I fast forwarded through it because I wanted to get to the duel. And plus there was a lot of other names that other names in the paper. They always talk about that consent thing. Yeah, so yeah, but yeah, she was a part of that. But we were a part of that paper. I was the entertainment and features editor. I think that's what she did too. I should have brought the paper in here with me. That could have explained it more, but oh well. So anyway, yeah, we in journalism together. Um, and we, just sort of, was cool with each other. Became became really good friends with each other. Uh, yes, she yes, back during that time, yeah, did did definitely had a little bit of a crush on her there. Yep, there was that. Matter of fact, in senior year, she actually was my she actually was. We both were at homecoming together. We didn't exactly like. We didn't. I didn't. It wasn't like how you go and pick up your date for homecoming and prom. It just so happened we were both there by ourselves. Neither one of us had a date there, so we just kind of hung out with each other and even did a dance with each other. But we weren't. But we never really were in like a boyfriend girlfriend relationship. Yes, like I say, I did kind of like her a bit, but yeah, she was kind of had me friend zone there. Yeah, that happens. That they what you gonna do? Just letting you guys know. Sometimes there's gonna be some girls that you like that are sometimes gonna friend zone you. Uh, don't take it hard. It may kind of hurt a little bit, but you know, just respect them. And be really good friends to them. That's all. That's my best advice. And who knows? Maybe they might uh, want to go further than friends, and even if not, still treat them right. Still be the best friend that you could be to them. That's the best advice. So yeah, cause it's like that sometimes. Not there's always a reason behind everything, especially in my case there. um, yeah, and it definitely, um, like I say, it's gonna even if it's not them, there's gonna be a girl for you, and also vice versa. I guess a guy friend zones a girl there. Um, yeah, like I said, it could happen either way, but I think it's from my experience, obviously being a guy, I just noticed it happens more so with the girls friend zoning the guy. Yeah, that's just what I've noticed there. I'm not saying it can't happen the other way around, but that's just what I've noticed. Um, because I guess um, from my personal experience, most of us guys are usually kind of quick to, like, hey, girl, you want to go on a date? Sounding like that. We're kind of quicker to do that. Or in my case, I have to admit this because even my own mother has said this, and it's kind of true. You know, like Donkey say, ones who love us or most or have to be the ones to be honest with us. Um, my is a I was kind of desperate because I didn't really have very good luck with getting dates there, and yeah, so yeah, I was kind of desperate in senior year. So yeah. Anyway, I don't mean to go too far off subject. Let's get back to the subject. So yeah, that pretty much was kind of with me and Angela in high school, and yeah, so we're gonna come back. We're gonna come back to Angela. But that was our high school life. Also, yeah, we were voted as teachers' pets in the yearbook because we were kind of the friends that were goody two shoes to most people. Yeah, just kind of how people saw the two of us there. Yeah, when we were, hanging out there. Crazy thing. Well, maybe not so crazy, but or it could be in a good way. The principal at my high school passed by me and Angela one time. We were just, we were talking to each other after, during lunch, and just chilling. And the principal passed by. He looked at us kind of funny. Everything okay? He said he asked us were we related there. So there was, well, no, we're not, but it is a resemblance because we're both. I'm just gonna say it. Both her and me, we were both kind of heavy set people. I'm big, I'm like Sherman Clump. And she was kind of plus size too, but like I say, nothing wrong with that. Power to the power to us. We are some handsome and beautiful people too. Just as I heard Three Katana say, they mostly always say you beautiful people. They refer to everybody beautiful. I get where they're coming from. I'm not harping on them for that. I get where they're coming from. I know that's kind of a thing. A lot of people say that everybody be both guys and both ladies and guys, but yeah, just personally, I prefer more the ladies are beautiful and the guys are handsome. It just sounds better. But yeah, I understand where y'all who say that are coming from there. So you hear me say, well, no, guys are handsome. Don't take it hard. I'm not fussing at y'all when I say that. I'm just saying that's just how I see it. It's not fussing. But I do understand where you guys are coming from when y'all say stuff like that. Especially you got a good heart behind it. So just clearing the air on that in case anybody like that's watching. um, so yeah, yeah. Uh, made teachers' pets there in the yearbook. So yeah, that was high school. Now as far as with Angela, okay, let's get to that. So yeah, Angela definitely was based off of Angela, '04 series. When she first debuted in that series, she was because of my slight crush on Angela back then. Angela was, of course, love interest for Samuel, aka Star Striker. Um, in her first debut, uh, him and Brian met her at a mall in the series, and then some of the villains, Octaria and Octilia, um, the wife and daughter of the Westwood Octopus family, they captured Angela and held as a hostage to try to get the Star Striker. Of course, that plan failed. Then they tried doing the hostage thing again in a Star Striker and Target Spider-Man crossover, teaming up with Doc Ock. But this time, it wasn't just holding Angela as a hostage. They turned her into a mutant shark lady to try to get them to surrender. However, Angela fought through the mutation and everything, be in the mutant form, and was able to control her mutant self in order to save our heroes, which made the bad guys' plan fail again. Sorry, and then they were able to get her reverted back to normal. With Peter, aka Spider Man, calling in a favor from Doc Connors. Y'all know Doc Connors, who is also the Lizard. Also, one thing to state, remember I just mentioned how me and Angela were in journalism class together. Well, for that crossover, since Peter Parker was a photographer, that the version of Peter Parker that was in the crossover was from the '90s Spider-Man series. Even though this was 2004, this was the '90s Spider-Man animated. The Spider-Man Peter Parker from the 1994 animated series. Yeah, the Spider-Man, radioactive Spider-Man, and yes, I'm wearing a Spider-Man jacket. Yeah, I probably like, hey, isn't he wearing a Spider-Man jacket? He gonna say something about that? Yep, I'm wearing Spider-Man. Uh, thanks to thanks to a special secret Santa from from where I work at. You know, as I'm just gonna leave it at that, just in case there. But hey, wanna tell one say, but like I say, Secret Santa, yeah. Yeah, it was part of that going on at work. Uh, so yeah, yeah, because of that, I imagine that Peter Parker, which I know he is a young adult in the series. He was in college in the animated series. But I imagine, after some time passing and I guess you could say sort of retconning Spider-Man Unlimited, because I did know about that series, but I didn't really watch it a whole lot. Not, I didn't hate this. I didn't hate it or anything. I did see a little bit of it, but I just didn't really get a chance to see a whole lot of Spider-Man Unlimited there. Seems like, it didn't look bad or anything. Just didn't really. It's a lot of shows that sometimes I didn't really get a chance or think to watch there because maybe I was into another show was so on my mind I didn't really think of maybe another show. Yeah, brain's kind of weird that way. But like I say, definitely don't hate it. I mean, how would I hate it? I hadn't even seen that much of it to have a fair judgment. So, like I say, if I were to watch it, yep, I'm probably sure it'd be enjoyable. Because as I say, I try to keep an open mind to a lot of different things. Actually, look at them first. Even like you take, for example, Thor: Love and Thunder. Really did not like that, to be honest, but there were some things I did like and tried, and because of that tried to like it, but it just kept ticking me off. Yeah, so yeah, anyway, um so yeah, like I say, kind of glossed over Spider-Man Unlimited and just assumed, what if much by 2004 this Peter Parker was a substitute journalism teacher, possibly undercover as a substitute journalism teacher, investigating in Shreveport to where Doc Ock has escaped to. So yeah, that was the, so so yeah so yeah, they got Angela back to normal thanks to Doc Connors. Um, then much later in the series, Angela shows up again. Turns out, as a result of the mutation, even though she's back to normal human form, she ends up developing bubble powers. And this is why, like I say, not only did I make the video her and Monee together, but together as far as like talking about them. But I did not mention like AKA this or AKA that, like like the Samuel AKA Star Striker or Brian AKA Target, because there were some different forms that Angela has taken. In this case, she took on the guise of Bubble Girl because she had exploding bubble powers, and that was what Bubble Girl was, what eventually would become Bubbleina, that Christina has taken over at the moment. You're like, oh, so is Christina taking over Angela's character? No, nope. When she took over Bubbleina, Bubbleina became a completely different uh, entity, which is now pretty much Christina. So, like I say, but back in '04, Bubble Girl was of course Angela, exploding bubble powers. Then they led into the Dream League series that was like a spin-off to the Star Striker Target series, sort of like, if just imagine if you went from Static Shock to Teen Titans kind of thing. That actually was the thought process behind this. Because I was talking with Case and I, we were talking about different things that was being added into the series, like her character Sword Girl and all that. And like, okay, so we got Star Striker, we got Target, we got Sword Girl, Bubble Girl. Uh, like, hey, let's do a Teen Titans like series, but call it, but of course Dream League. Well, we need a fifth member. Like the Teen Titans, they had five, and throw in Venom X, we had five people. So, so yeah, and his video will be coming soon. Little spoiler alert. So yeah, we covered that. Win the Dream League series, and not really much as far as I mean, yeah, Angela's a part of it as Bubble Girl. Wasn't really. I mean, that was focused, but not like like solo focus. Much of their just kind of the team dealing with different things. Of course, in the Brian video I mentioned about the time travel heist, to save one of Star Striker's friends there. Um, so really, it was that actually Dream League. It had like a I think if this were TV series, I would say Star Trek and Target had like 2 seasons, then 2 seasons with the Dream League series possibly, and season 3 was started but did not conclude. Here's what happened. So so of course there was a big climax battle in the Dream League series, and with wasn't even with Arcturus' family. They had kind of been taken care of in the Star Trek and Target series. It may have come back a few times in Dream League. I'm not sure, but yeah, Dream League kind of had some different stuff going on there that was a little more higher level. But they had a big climax. Yeah, I gotta mention this. They had a big climax with the devil himself. The devil himself actually attacked the world, almost brought us down, almost brought the world down to its knees. And yeah, it was a big battle with the devil, sort of like how the Powerpuff Girls faced their version of the devil called him. Yes. Oh, I'm the devil. Hi, girls. I'm just practicing my cheerleading now. You haven't done anything bad, have? No, nothing bad today. Okay, girls. See you later. So, yeah. Anywho, um, so the next big baddie for the Dream League, how can you top a superhero team defeating the devil himself? How do you top that? Well, let's have the Antichrist time travel back in time. Yeah, that time travel heist. So yeah, apparently it starts off, and what is kind of ironic because we Christina and I we've been watching the Yu-Gi-Oh series, and now we are at season 4 in the English dub there, about the Awakening the Dragons season about to start that. And I remember when that season of Yu-Gi-Oh first came out, first thing came to my mind when I saw the villain darts. I thought the first thing came to my mind was the Antichrist. So, because I thought of it as Yu-Gi-Oh Revelation. So anyway, speaking of Antichrist, yes, at the beginning of this new season of the Dream League series, there was the Antichrist, and yes, there's something that happens with Angela. We're getting to it. In case you're wondering, well, what does this have to do with Angela? So Antichrist was on the run. People figured out that he was not the real Messiah, and they were coming after the Antichrist with pitchforks and torches. Antichrist was on the run. He escaped into the junkyard. Apparently, this is supposed to be like years in the future. Apparently, the old time machine that Brian, aka Target, had made for Star Striker was in the junkyard, and the Antichrist was able to fire it up and go back in time, back here to 2004, to try to reign supreme again. And this is what led to the Dream League having to face the Antichrist. And now here's the thing that happened to Angela. Um, During some of the battles with the Dream League, the Antichrist somehow managed to mind control Angela, aka Bubble Girl at the time. He managed to mind control her and turn her against the Dream League, and that's where the series just kind of it never did conclude what happened of that, as well as also the outcome of how would they defeat the Antichrist. Sort of like in the 2017 DuckTales, how when they showed that clip of Darkwing Duck facing himself, and he said, "Sadly, beloved TV show Darkwing Duck was canceled before we could end this special." So yeah, I guess you could say Dream League got canceled because I didn't think of anything else, and next thing you know, I was writing some other stuff there. Yeah, now you see why I'm so determined to finish Yumeko, because yeah, I had a bad habit of starting stuff and then wanting to start something else and never finishing what I started before. It's almost like a child with toys. They play with something, then they leave it on the floor and go play with something else, and next thing you know, the room is full of toys on the floor, and you as a parent, you walk in and step on a Lego, ouch, or attack. So yeah, so yeah, so yeah, that's what happened there. Also, the whole thing of turning Angela, aka Bubble Girl, against the Dream League, uh, also kind of is another reference in the Waking the Dragon season of Yu-Gi-Oh! When what's about to happen with My Valentine, when she turned against Yugi in the gang with the seal of Orichalcos there. So yeah, there's that, and yeah, like I said, I have to admit I did not like that when it first aired. Neither me or Casey. So we was kind of off and on watching Waking the Dragons after that reveal when it first came out. But looking back on it, just me, I don't know how exactly Casey feels about it. But looking back on it, yeah, I kind of. I mean, I still don't. Obviously, I still don't like the fact of Evil Mind, but I actually understand the plot better. Especially seeing the Japanese version of it. It's a little more emotional there, and yeah, it's actually kind of a reason why Mai became the way, and then really even kind of thought to like what happened to her, in the previous seasons, in Battle City. I guess, yeah. It's like I say, obviously you don't like, some, one of your good guys turning bad, but yeah, at least I kind of can understand writing wise why that happened. So yeah, um, no, sometimes sometimes it takes a while for you to understand stuff in certain storylines. Yeah. So okay. So anyway, back with Angela. So that was it with Dream League series. There were other versions I tried to start of Star Striker target the Dream League, but um, never really went really far with them. So now we come to Heroes of Dreams. Heroes of Dreams, of course, this is where Bubble Girl first became Bubbleina, and was now designed after Christina. So even before Christina took over the character, like writing the Bubbleina series that she's writing now, um, yeah, she was. Before then, yeah, when her and me first got married, Bubbleina was designed to pretty much resemble her then. After the conversion from Bubble Girl to Bubbleina, sort of like how in the MCU we got Samuel Jackson as Nick Fury. That ideal for him to be Nick Fury was actually before the MCU even started, way back in early 2000 with the animated movie The Ultimate Avengers, because I quote, Stan Lee said, I was just thinking, why don't Nick Fury look like Samuel Jackson? Because Samuel Jackson is such a cool person. Excelsior! God rest his soul. So that happened. Um, Angela actually did not debut in Heroes of Dreams until what I call season two of the Hero to Dream series, which only got two books out and didn't really go any further because of the beginning of the Star Striker series. In the two books that we did get, book 11 and book 12, um, there was Angela's character debut in book 11, and one of the characters, Bruno, had a crush on her, aka Power Play. And then they sort of had a thing, and yeah, kind of hooked up. Um, and there was that. That was the first time at that point that Angela had learned of me writing books and stuff. We had actually, after parting ways in our senior year, after graduation, we had sort of met back up with each other during the writing of book 11. Well, actually, like a little before it, because then I wrote, the Angela character back, because I was actually trying to figure out who was I going to base Angela off of this time, since she wasn't Bubble Girl, and there was several people that came to my mind. I even had thoughts of Zendaya, drawing her to look like Zendaya from Spider-Man. But then me and Angela met back up, and would talk like, hey, I'm doing this book series, Heroes of Dream, and like, okay, yeah, do like 2004, make it look like Angela. Angela actually saw this, so like, okay, not bad. Heroes of Dreams. Now, got now. This is gonna be the big shocker, but in a good way. It's good. It's good. It's a shock, but it's good. Angela is not a superhero type person. She's not into superhero related things. That wasn't her thing. She is into cartoons though. You know, mostly like the classic funnies. Tom and Jerry stuff like that. Uh, classics. The classic stuff. And I think a few other things like Arthur. Yeah, Arthur and think a few of it. But yeah, superheroes was not really her thing. But here's the good twist. Um, she did take a look at my Heroes of Dreams series, just because like, well, we're friends, that's I just want to see what Gabe's doing, and that was just pretty much it. When the Star Striker series started, the Star Striker comic series, and I wrote Angela in the very first book as her and Star Striker being a thing, she, despite the fact that she wasn't into superheroes, she was very she was she became invested in that more so than Heroes of Dream. Yeah, because Heroes of Dream was just like, I'm gonna give you this book to check out. Okay, it looks nice, Gabe. But she became invested in the Star Striker series. Um, that really popped to her. The way, it was a comic, it's a comic series. The way it looked, and also even just the way Angela looked, especially with the Photoshop and everything. But that really popped to her, and she really liked it. She really, and I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that her character that based on her was, oh wow, because Angela is a plus size girl like Angela, but she's pretty much like a Lois Lane of this series. The hero Star Striker is like, hi, how you doing? So yeah, this really, I think that's what really kind of what really kind of impressed her there, uh, and she was really kind of strong on, you know, the whole thing of, hey, plus size is beautiful too, sort of like, probably like, what you would hear from, say, someone like Monique from the Parkers, yeah. I ain't gonna lie, she is cute. Yeah, they're not lying. Yeah, plus size can. It's like, oh, we got some really cute plus size girls. Just saying. You say, so beauty does come in all shapes and forms, big, small, medium, all that. It's just all in how you look at it and who you are, and also, yeah, like I said, who you are, because that reflects, you know, your beautifulness or your handsomeness, girls and the guys, how you are. What are you, a good person or a bad person? I'm just saying, how you are on the inside reflects to your outside. So that's how that works. Yep, what's inner is going to reflect, just like the Cinderella, with the stepsisters, and they fixed themselves all up, them and the stepmother, but they were just as ugly. They were so ugly because of how they treated Cinderella. Yeah, even with all the makeup and stuff, they were just as ugly as ever. Cinderella, lowly and humble, clean and everything, her inner beauty reflected, and in the fairy godmother, when she fixed her up, she brought that beauty out. So yeah, the beauty was actually in what she brought on the outside, was coming from inside Cinderella. Yep. So yeah, that's one way of looking at that. So yeah, she really got invested with Star Striker. The so yeah, and matter of fact, yeah, let's go through. Well, yeah, okay, it was just, yeah, I just summarize because yeah, yeah, basically just gotta summarize everything. So yeah, So she was Star Striker, aka Samuel, had a crush on Angela. Her now I want to say her last name was still Adams in that series. Yeah, and we're gonna get to when it because I know I said Angela Ann Pierre for the video. We're gonna get to that. So Angela Adams, yeah, Samuel had a crush on her. He went to fantasizing about her and everything. Um, real, like kid, little puppy love, little kid crush and everything. Um, and then I think in the second book, leading into the third book, he had to, as Star Striker, he had to rescue Angela, as well as not just Angela, but also several people that were being held hostage at a news station by these, say, by some criminals there, and led by AJ the Master Shot. And so he defeated them, as well as also his power unlocking of the Star Blast power. That was the first time Star Striker used that, because before it was either solar power or Star Spinner gadgets there. So this was the Star Blast power of the cosmics that he had. He was able to save Angela and everybody at the news station. He even got a hug from her. Do we? Also, I forgot to mention, Angela's character in this series was actually French too. Yeah, because of Angela's last name being Pierre. Now, Angela is actually not French. I mean, she's not. Wait a minute, she's not from France. I mean, she's from here in Shreveport, like me. But because her last name was Pierre, I was like, hey, I'll make the characters French, African French, I guess what you would call it. So, um, so yeah, she was French. Oui, oui. Oui, oui, monsieur. Yes. So, if I had a caption under there, it'd probably be saying speaking gibberish. It's like he's not really speaking French. He's just speaking gibberish. Yeah, and I've seen that in sometimes some of the characters be purposely speaking gibberish to make it look like they speak in another language. um, for comedies, yeah. So yeah, after the rescue and everything, um, there's also a moment during the rescue where they sort of reference Aladdin. Remember when Aladdin said to Jasmine, "Do you trust me? Do you trust me?" Yes. Star Striker made that reference to Angela. He said, "Do you trust me?" And they swung across this explosion. Uh, After the rescue, this is where we get the introduction of, in book number 4 of Star Striker Comics, Monee Chanel Pierre. This is the first time she appears. What happened? What was going on behind the scenes? In when I was writing. A funny story about when I was writing. I don't think I mentioned this, but when I was writing the comics for the first time with the Star Striker series, I did not write a script at all. I was just writing straight panels, but I was looking. I sort of looked at some things in my Heroes and Dream books, but yeah, I was practically freelancing these each comic panel. I was freelancing it. I did not write a script until I got to writing Star Striker issue number 4. Um, that was because I had a friend of mine that was asking me about, hey, why don't you just write the story, Gabe, and I'll illustrate it for you for a price, of course. But yeah, and then he had like a mentor he had a mentor that was giving him advice about something that he was working on. Um, and both of them got to talking with me. It was like, Gabe, you want to get yourself more professional, so let's do illustrations for you. We're gonna make you more professional. Now, I'm not gonna say that they were. I'm not gonna say it was definitely like a. I'm not trying to say that they were trying to trick me or something like that. But yeah, I at that time, I wasn't exactly able to, cause like I say, when you get somebody to illustrate for you, Um, especially they because I mean they did because the friend of mine he he can really draw. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, he can draw, but it is a different art style than what I do because I like to draw in the anime style. Because I really like anime. His is more like what you see with Marvel and DC comics. He kind of draws more in that art style, like the actual DC and Marvel comic books. And so yeah, he's really good. But yeah, he was obviously in even a local illustrator. Yeah, you got it. Yeah, for the time that they're gonna be spending doing that, yeah, it's gonna take some money, and that's especially you getting some good art there. So, I wasn't able to really afford that at that time. Uh, like I say, cause like even now, practically trying to build myself up, So, at that time, but yeah, but I ended up getting a really good cover. I was able to get that for book four, sort of like a special edition. Um, that was when I started writing the scripts for my comics because of that. Because yeah, he needed to know like what picture to draw for each panel and everything. Yeah, so that was where that started. Yeah, which really I should have been doing scripts even before then. So yep. So when and reading I say scripts because so I could um so we know what we're illustrating in each panel and stuff. Sort of like rough drafts for just regular novels, like what we're writing now. So with that, yeah, that was a little brief mention. Um, during the while I was writing, I think either when I finished up book, I think when I was still writing book number three, um, Angela and I were talking, and she came to me with the idea of, hey Gabe, why not why the character Angela. I thought about her having a best friend, and that's where Monee Chanel Pierre came up. That's how so Angela was so I came up with Angela, but it was inspired from Angela. Angela saw Angela's character and was and gave me the idea and came up with the ideal and told and asked me to add Monee Chanel Pierre, and not just add her as just the best friend to Angela, but also as a superhero partner with Star Striker, known as Diva Slay. So yeah, uh, Monee Chanel Pierre, aka Diva Slay. Uh, she was got her powers. She pretty much was like Rapunzel as a superhero. She could practically change. She had like magic hair that could, magic like grow and shrink, take on different forms and stretch. So yeah, magical hair power, as you say. And with say so, we brought in book number four was when I at towards the end of book four was when she first appeared. She was watching the news report of Star Striker and wanted to work with him. Um, then after that, there was this was also the introduction of another character called Candace. So we're gonna get to that. So Monee got her and Angela got together and they put two and two together that Star Striker was Samuel. Uh, and by by informing the boys, Samuel and Brian, that hey, we know who you are, Samuel. You're Star Striker. Monee shared, her what kind of power she had, and so once all that was revealed, um, Brian, got did an analysis of their powers, and then got them some superhero costumes. Actually, Monee said because she's a young fashion designer. That's what she wanted to grow up to be. So she had been practicing. So she designed some new. She designed herself a costume as Diva Slay, and designed Star Striker a new costume as well, which has which is like blue and it's like has a lot of like some dark blues. with the yellow stars on them. 'Cause one thing I think I was advised by someone, dark colors really make the light colors stand out really well. Um, so then the two of them, Star Striker and Diva Slay, um, went into action to go up against a snake woman known as Sia. The snake Sia actually mutated from Monee's babysitter Candace after being hit with some magical. It was some magical radiation ray from out the sky, and then bit by some cobras, and she became a cobra snake woman. um, and so Star Striker and Diva Slay faced her, uh, and was able to defeat her, of course. Then there was a moment at the end of book number 6 where Star Striker flew Angela around the downtown Shreveport area, so sort of like Aladdin on his magic carpet, and then then of course the last panel they kissed each other. But little did they know they were being watched by two new villains, um, which of course were going to be a new Puma and Racker, but yeah, then it kind of stopped there, and we never. Then of course wrote, illustrated, the Bubblina series, but we never did come back to that Star Striker series, um, because some new ideals started to come, like Brown Chronicles, um, and now Yumeko. So yeah, hope, like I say, really want to get, really want this. Really, this is really got to be the series to finish here. To really, really make strong of, Yumeko. However, there is another reason behind Star Strikers series coming to an end. Not just the ideals changing and stuff like that, but also there was a bit of a tragic moment. So we're coming back to Angela. You might be starting to figure it out, just the fact that I said tragic. Um, so yeah, so we have been talking with each other, as I was, writing book 4 and 5, what was going on with Monee, aka Diva Slay, as well as Angela. Um, she was getting more and more invested, and um, she even got to see Christina's Bubblina comics. Enjoyed that as well. However, in 2019 is when this happened. 1 year before the COVID, I had just I had a book signing right after finishing the 6 Star Striker book. I had just had a book signing for all 6 Star Striker books. I had just finished number 6, and I was really excited for Angela to see the 6th book where Diva Slay was in action, helping Star Striker. Really got to see her powers and all that, and her costume and all that. And well, Angela never did get to see book 6 because I called her house. Like, okay, like, hey, what time you want me to bring it by? After I had just got out of church, and all of a sudden I get I think it was an Instagram message from somebody that was following me on Instagram. This person was also, he also knew Angela. I think he mentioned that she was his teacher, because Angela actually was taking up student teaching at the time. Yeah, she was taking that up, so she trying to work to become a school teacher like my mom was. Um, that was also how she got to know my mom. Yeah, because she had met her and my mom had not too long before this incident had met each other, and Angela shared a lot of stuff with my mom, about, like, what kind of things she was trying to be, a school teacher and all that, and wanting to write some inspirational books, in which mom, of course, shared about her prayer journals too and everything. Um, but what happened? That student of hers was like, didn't you hear what happened? I was like, no, what happened? Angela died. I was like, wait, no, 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 no. You got no. You, because first thing came to my mind was her mother, because a couple of years before, like when we first had started talking again, and I was making the comics and stuff, um, her mother had passed, and I know she was real upset about that, obviously. Um, and she would mention it a lot about it on Facebook and everything. She was grieving over that. Really understandable. But I was so that's I was thinking of her mother at first, but then no, it turned out when I looked it up, Angela had died in a car crash. She was on her way home. About a week. It was matter of fact, she died a week. Um, I found out a week after it happened. She was coming home one Saturday night, and somebody crashed into her. Yeah, and that's what happened. It was really devastating there, especially when I first found out. Because I literally fell out of my chair. I was in the kitchen, hearing about this, and I literally fell out the chair in tears. I was like, no, I was like, oh my goodness. It's like, and that it kind it was kind of scary too. There, I mean, you just it's sort of like like some of these celebrities you hear all of a sudden they just you don't think nothing's wrong with them, and then suddenly they're just gone. But this is somebody I know personally, and like yeah, it was yep, and that was one thing yeah, because I kind of and of course my mom, because I told her what happened. I told my mom what happened. Um, I was kind of crying a little bit when I told her, and yeah, one thing told me okay tried she got me to calm down a little bit, and the one thing she asked me really touching thing she asked me she asked me what if did Angela what was she saved? Did she believe in Christ? Christ as our Lord and Savior? I told her yes. She said, well, okay, I know you're gonna miss her, Gabe, and everything, but just know, it's like she's in good hands with the because she's her soul is at peace now. Yep. So yeah, that's so now that's yeah that was what happened with Angela there, and yeah, like I say, because I think some people that asked me that knew about it and saw like, oh, you base these characters off of her. Why? How come it's not in loving memory of? Well, that's because the books were published before she died. There, yeah. So. Yep. When I get to her character for Yumeko, that like when I write a character in Yumeko, um, they're actually um, well, I think there's a brief appearance that she has in the second Yumeko comic before my Photoshop shut down. But yeah, when I get to writing about her as well as Monee in the Yumeko series, yeah, I would definitely remember to put in loving memory of who Angela was inspired by, as well as also the same person who's come up with Monee, Angela Pierre. So this is also why I call this is why like on the thumbnail why it's Angela Ann Pierre and Monee Chanel Pierre, because originally in the Star Trek comics, they were two best friends, but design wise they look just like twins. Cause they always say we got a look alike because people say I got a person that looks like me over at Home Depot and Office Depot. So, but but I decided to make them twin sisters for the Yumeko series. So yeah, they're gonna be twin sisters in the Yumeko series, Monee and Angela, both from France, obviously, and will definitely carry um, they will definitely Angela her part of her spirit will be in the characters as a way of paying tribute to her, way of honoring her memory. So yeah, that is definitely good and also a bit of tragic there. But like I say, yeah, it yeah, really, I still miss her greatly. I still wish she could have still been around. To see what's going on. Really, honestly, more so, I wish she would have been alive longer to experience some of the things that she really wanted to do in life. Because she, like I say, she was striving to be a school teacher, have like her teacher's license and everything. She wanted to write some inspirational books, and back in high school, she wanted to be a talk show host, like Oprah Winfrey. She wanted to be the next Oprah. So yeah, so yeah, that was it was what she wanted to do. But like I say, life was taken. So yeah, like I say, never did get to do it. But like I say, will definitely be honored in the characters there. So yep, and there, that is the history of Angela Ann Pierre, as well as her sister Monee Chanel Pierre, both in 2-in-1 video here, as and also Angela Pierre, who they were based on. Really good friend, really good friend of mine. Much like how Casey is a good friend, she was a really good friend as well. And very and to say a very God fearing woman. Um, was a real joy to be around. I know one thing one thing after her death happened. I remember even I obviously told Casey about it, um, and one of the things I definitely mentioned was like, Casey, please don't you go too. And she said, "Don't worry, Gabe. I'm not going it. Don't worry, Gabe. I'm still gonna be here." Say so. Yeah, I was like, I don't need to lose two best friends there. Yeah. So yeah. So yeah, was that. So hope you guys enjoyed that there. Did As I do apologize if kind of ending with an emotional beat like that, kind of teared you guys up a little bit there at the end of this video. Really apologize for that, but I was gonna mention that at the beginning, but yeah, it kind of made more sense to mention it now because of when it took place and the order of sequence of the things I'm talking about for this video. So yeah, it just made the order of sequence. It kind of made more sense, and uh, enjoy what you heard. Definitely like, share, and subscribe. Make definitely buy some of our available comic books, as well as support us on Patreon. Patreon support us on there, like EJ the Supreme. Yep. As well as or either sponsor us, like our December sponsor, Keon Smith, or either do both. Um, yeah. Once again, yeah, I know I didn't quite say that the same way I did at the beginning of the video, but yeah, I sort of think still. It's what happens when you kind of end on something tragic and it's still kind of on your mind there. So yeah, but definitely do all of that. And like I say, when it's gonna be a while, but when we get to Angela's character as well as Monee, there's definitely going to be some. It's definitely gonna have great respect in writing the characters and really honoring Angela's memory. So we'll definitely be sure to do that. Um, we'll see you guys in the next video, and take care, everybody.